Ajwa stood by the roadside, the scorching sun of western Ghana beating down on her. Her hands gripped the handles of a wooden wheelbarrow with plantain, cocoyam, and cassava from her small farm. Life had been tough since her husband left 3 years ago. He had promised to send money back from the city, but those promises had been turned into whispers of the wind. Her two children, Kwame and Ifya, were her world now. Kwame at 12 was already showing signs of becoming the man of the house, and little Ifya, just 7, had the infectious smile of her father. A constant reminder about the man who abandoned them. Ajwa often found herself wondering what she had done wrong, why she wasn't good enough for him to stay. Her life had become a rhythm of hard work and exhaustion, with the fleeting moments of joy with her children. She never expected that anything would change, but fate had a way of surprising her. One evening, as she prepared dinner under the large baobab tree that shaded their small home, she noticed a man standing at the edge of her farm. He was tall, with a broad shoulder and a kind face, though he had sadness in his eyes that mirrored hers. He introduced himself as Kojo, a fisherman from the nearby village who had recently moved to town. He was polite, soft-spoken, and seemed genuinely interested in her farming methods. Over the next few weeks, Kojo became a regular visitor. He would stop by to chat, sometimes bringing fresh fish for the family. Ajwa found herself looking forward to his visits, even though she kept her guard up. She couldn't afford to be hurt again. Kojo had his own demons. He had lost his wife and child in a tragic accident 2 years ago. The sea that had given him life had also taken it away, and he had come to this new town to escape the memories that haunted him. He didn't expect to find solace in Ajwa's presence, but there was something about her resilience, her quiet strength that drew him in. He began to help her with the farm, repairing the broken tools and teaching Kwame how to fish. The children warmed to him quickly, and Ajwa found herself laughing more than she had in years. But there was a part of her that was still afraid. Every time Kojo got too close, she would pull back, reminding herself that she was fine on her own. One day, while they were working together on the farm, Kojo asked her about her husband. Ajwa stiffened, her eyes narrowing, as she told him about Kofi's betrayal. Kojo listened quietly, then shared his own story of loss. For the first time, Ajwa saw the vulnerability in him, and it made her realize that she wasn't the only one carrying a heavy burden. They sat beneath the baobab tree in silence for a long time, the weight of their past hanging between them. But there was an unspoken understanding that began to take root, like the seeds of a new beginning. The village buzzed with rumors. A single mother and a widower forming a bond was not something that went unnoticed in such a close-knit community. People whispered as Ajwa walked through the markets, their eyes following her every move. She tried to ignore them, but the weight of their judgment pressed down on her. Kwame and Ifya, however, were oblivious of the gossip. They had grown attached to Kojo, and he had become a father figure to them. Kwame admired Kojo's fishing skills and often asked him about the sea, while Ifya loved the stories he told her about the mysterious creatures that lived beneath the waves. One day, as Kojo and Ajwa walked through the village together, they overheard two women talking about them. The words stung, and Ajwa turned to Kojo, ready to tell him that it was over, that they couldn't continue seeing each other. But Kojo stopped her gently, taking her hand. "Let them talk," he said quietly. "They don't know us. They don't know what we have been through." His words struck a chord in Ajwa. For too long, she had let the opinions of others dictate her life. But here was a man who saw her for who she truly was, and he didn't care about the gossip. Slowly, she began to let her walls down, allowing herself to trust him. Just as things began to settle, the past came knocking at Ajwa's door. One afternoon, while she was at the market, she ran into Kofi. He looked different, older, more tired, but there was still the same charming smile that once swept her off her feet. He told her that he had come back to make things right, that he wanted to be a father to his children. Ajwa felt a surge of anger mixed with confusion. How could he just walk back into their lives after all this time? But there was also a part of her that still cared and remembered the good times they had shared. Kofi's return threw everything into chaos. Kwame sensed the shift in Ajwa, the uncertainty in her eyes. He didn't want to pressure her, so he gave her space, even though it hurt to see her pull back into the orbit of the man who had abandoned her. For days, Ajwa wrestled with her emotions. She knew that Kofi's return had more to do with his failures than any genuine desire to be a father. But she also knew that Kwame and Efia deserved to know their father. In the end, it was Kwame who made the decision for her. "Mama, I love you," he said one evening, after Kofi had come by to visit. "But I don't need Papa to come back. We are okay with you and Mr. Kojo." His words brought tears to her eyes. She realized she didn't have to choose between the past and the future. She could let go of the hurt that Kofi had caused and move forward with Kojo, who had proven time and again that he was there for her and her children. The rains came early that year. The land around Ajwa's home turned lush and green. The baobab tree stood tall, its ancient branches providing shelter from the world. Underneath its shade, Ajwa and Kojo sat down together, watching Kwame and Efia play in the distance. They had found peace, not because life had become easier, but because they had chosen to face their struggles together. Kojo had become a part of their family, and the ghosts of the past no longer had power over them. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizons, Kojo turned to Ajwa and asked her to marry him. Her heart swelled with a happiness she hadn't felt in years. She said yes, not because she needed him to complete her, but because she knew they could build a future together, a future that was stronger than the past. Their wedding was a simple affair, held beneath the baobab tree, with just a few close friends and family. As they exchanged vows, the wind whispered through the leaves, carrying with it the promise of new beginnings. And so, Ajwa, the single mother of two who had thought love was lost to her, found it again in the most unexpected place. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. Thank you for watching. It's bye for now.